Hey y'all, got a cool one for you today. So, a while back, made a Deskimon. An issue that I found that I had with the Deskimon that I made was that the little buttons broke at the solder point for the power on and the power off. So, when you buy the part for the screen, it comes in this nifty little case. The key has little buttons, everything seems to work just fine. So, I didn't want to take it out of this case again. It probably adds a little bit of support to those buttons, which will keep it from being an issue. I also bought the battery and the speaker comes with the screen. So, what I did was I increased the size of all of this by 10%. I found like that was the magic number that allowed me to fit all of this in. And everything fit okay. Now, I'm redoing this. So what I did do is I got a piece of filament and I used my torch. I melted it to create like a little bit of a lip. So when I do this and I put it in, you get to line up the slots here. It's a tight fit, which I'm okay with because that means that it's not going to pop out. Oh, shoot. That and that and that. All right, I'm good with that. Actually, no, I'm not. See if we can't trim this edge down just a little bit without cutting myself. All right, I like it better. So what I plan on doing is I'm going to put this together. And if it stays together like intended, then I'm not going to do anything else. But if it not, what I'm going to do is I'll go out and I'll get some of that putty that's used, and then I'll fill in these gaps so that it doesn't have any room to move. But for right now, let's get this together. The only real issue I had before doing this was getting these little button pieces to allow you to do the back and the power on, power off. I know I've said it before in some of my videos. I have found, funnily enough, by increasing the size, I have found that sometimes things actually fit better once you increase the size of all the parts. So nothing really should fit differently. But I think there's a little bit of what you call like a little slop whenever the slicer goes through and increases the size to what you're asking for. I think there's just a little like It's not exactly 10% bigger. It's 10% and maybe a little. Something else that has happened recently, this has been printed on a FlashForge 85X. There have been a lot of rumblings about how the 85X is doing with these updates and what have you. I've experienced some of that myself, where things have been a little bit wonky. They've settled down a little bit now, and I don't know if you've been part of my channel before. I used to post all of the time lapses. Something I've gotten away from doing because I used to be able to get the time lapses right from FlashForge. Now, or from the server would allow me to on my phone to see the time lapses. For whatever reason, they shut that off, and now it's kind of even difficult a little bit to see your print as it's printing through the camera, which is kind of stinky because that's kind of the whole point of getting a camera. That looks good. But so what I was going to say, been having issues. An issue that I found, I've only had the 85X for a short period of time. Since I put out that setup video that I did for it. Has not been a long time. And I started having my prints started seeming off, I guess, where it would shut off because the hot end wouldn't keep the temp correct, and I kept getting the number 7 error. I think it was 7. Anyway, it ended up being the hot end heater that was the issue. I will say, so I did contact and reach out, and I gave all the evidence over to FlashForge and said, hey, I'm pretty sure this is still under warranty. Is there anything you can do for me as far as getting a new heater for the hot end? And they did get one out to me. It did take a while, which may have been, I'm not complaining because it's good that they stand by their products. They are popular, so I kind of will say that it's very likely that they were experiencing a shortage of parts as they were trying to get everyone the parts that they asked for, or the printers that they paid for, which I'm okay with. I get it. People pay for a printer to get a printer, but it is something that you should look out for. Hopefully you don't run into that issue. I will cross my fingers for you guys. But if you do, The operation to fix it is not crazy. It really isn't that bad. So we will I will eventually put out a video on how to for fixing it. It's not a super crazy thing. Come on, you. So here I'm spouting off about how increased parts go together easier. That's why you don't say nothing until you get it done, because karma will get you. Get too confident and cocky. Okay. I was going to. One thing I did have to trim. I had, in order to get the new screen to fit, I had to trim these little pieces here. I don't have a good example to show you. But there's little pieces here I had to trim out in order to get the part to fit. But so what we have to do is get the wires in behind this battery. All right, as best we can. And then we'll set this here like this. Then these little dealios are going to go just like this. So these I printed a little bit longer. I did increase everything by 10%, but I increased these little buttons lengthwise. And then I figured I would just trim them up if needed. But we want to make sure that everything fits together first. And then we'll worry about that. So again, all I did was increase the size of the Deskimon by 10%. So it is a little bit bigger. I have one that I printed size-wise just to show you the comparison. This is the normal size. If it'll stay. Normal size, 10% bigger. So not a huge change, but allowed me to keep the case in. Hopefully the buttons work. I have not tested it yet. But let's see. Headphones fit. Yeah, they fit okay. Alright. Maybe it's... So I did try the Z offset. I set it to 30 for the supports. I think I may drop that down just a little bit because I'm getting like, just looking at this, I'm getting some really rough surfaces. Okay. All right. Moment of truth. Let's see. Truth. Let's see if this will work. Boom. Volume. Alright, let's cycle him on and off. Because to me, I don't know about you guys, but to me it looks like his eyes are tilted this way just a bit. Ah, sweet. So that works fine. So let's pop this guy off. We'll cycle him off. It is a long press. So with this video, and it's getting long here, it's 15 minutes so far. So with this video, I will include a tutorial that I put together, where so it needs to go. Just let's turn them on real quick. Let's make sure his eyes look even to us first. All right, I like that better. Apparently he does too. Buttons are only slightly off, but we'll see if that's going to affect anything. Oh, with this video, I am going to include a video on how to do the programming. So the creator did a really good job. Made the code for programming awesome. And if you follow the instructions on the PDF, I am sure that you will be able to get there. Deskimon Neo thinks so too. So it's really not crazy. Although it can seem intimidating, especially when someone says you're going to be a coder. The code's already there. You're just uploading what was written, and then if you've never flashed anything before, that's all you're doing is you're moving the code over. All right, so that is an issue. I'm noticing that I can't hit the button anymore. So let's see here. So am I cool with it being a little tilted? And being able to press. How far over can I go, I wonder? Because that's about even. So that one's good. What if I just press hard? No. Okay. So this is what we're going to do. I've got a little bit of filament. So we'll cut that. Got my heater. Like a little plate or something. What do I got? What do I have? I mean, I guess this will work. Alright. So my thought is this. Nope, this is perfect. This one's perfect. Alright. My thought is this. I will put this right here. And I will heat it up. Let's kind of get it into a shape here. Then so my goal is to increase the surface. So now when I put it in here, alright, that works. And then we already tested this one. That one works. So the putty, I think, is your biggest bet as far as making, once you get all this stuff in, because we've increased the size, we want a little bit of, might want a little bit of putty to take up some of the extra space that we've now put in. Okay, turn this back around, set this down in. All right, that one works. So this is the hardest part that I found with putting this guy together, was getting those two little button pieces in and working. Like, all right, so he shuts off. That one works. Power's on. I'm kind of loath. Oh, that was yeah, I like that. Cool. He did this thing where if you shake him, But if you listen, because there's so much slack, it will inside now. It'll move around. Yeah, that's cool. And his eyes look even now. Volume works. Brightness works. There you can hear. Oh, sorry. Cool. Like it. I like it a lot. Now I'm going to print the base. But how you would charge him if you don't have the base. I don't have. You would just you would route this through this guy here like that, and if you don't have the battery too, all right, and then you would just plug them in. You could see the USB-C. Or there, you see the USB-C inside. So you would just plug them in like that, route them, and then you're good to go. But the backpack, so you would route the wire through like that. I love this. It's good. Yeah, it looks really good. I like it. I might have to trim just a little bit on the power button there because just his headphones clicked him off there. I do like this color combo. So this one is FlashForge's metallic red. This is the metallic blue from FlashForge. The white, hold on. The white is the Calm Grow. I really like the white. I like all of these colors together. Just look really nice. Well, that's me putting together. I really appreciate watching. Till next time.